Yes, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Dynasty Hotseat, the only Dynasty show out there that is a certified inferno. And do not adjust your sets. No, Paul Pickin has not suddenly got a lot more handsome and have a full head of hair. We have got a different guest on the show today. We got Rich King. You can find him over at King Fantasy Sports joining us on the show. I cannot wait to get into this. We're looking week number 9. Can't believe we're here already. Let's get right into it. Yes, we are live. Thank you everyone for joining in and watching. We got a brand new guest on the show today. Rich, thank you so much. Last minute, came in on your white horse to save the day. I mean, first of all, what a beautiful household you have.
Thanks. This is we spoke just before. This is my tax haven in Luxembourg, the Alpine Lodge, that I like to just chill out in. But I'm excited to be honest because week 9. It seems like a long time ago since we me and Mags were actually in the same division in the Scott Fish Bowl. We had a live draft, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I've been looking forward to touching base again. It's been a mad start to the season, but I'm glad to be on here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was not 2 people in that basement in Belushi's talking more shit than me and you. Like you can go guarantee that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had 2 responsible drinks, but as I always say, it's the irresponsible ones that get you. It was the 8 or 9 that followed. They're the ones that got you. But I mean, you were a bit of a centurion. You went all night, and I remember seeing you at breakfast and just thinking, that is a man that has been held together by sellotape.
So I was a very liquid heavy breakfast. So I remember having a pint of water and a pint of beer, and
I do remember
an orange juice.
You at breakfast though, because I ordered an old fashioned full breakfast.
Love that. Yes. That was an absolute baller move. I was like, I'm doing that next year. Like, that's the best way to kick things off.
It's the best way.
So you'll see me next year in London with an old fashioned at breakfast. That is a guarantee. Nice. Like that's happening. And we got a wee bit of wait until then. So why not talk some more shit in the meantime, right, Rich? Let's get right into it. We're gonna chat some week 9 in fantasy football. We're gonna talk about just 2 main topics that are on sort of the tip of most people's tongue at the minute at this stage of the season. Then we're going to get into some, your standard starts and sits. We're eventually going to get to fan questions whenever they come in as well. And then my favorite part of the show, this sizzle reel, where, I just show you some crap from the internet, right?
That's beautiful. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm part of a few rugby chats, so I'm sure you can't really shock me, but then I'm equally willing to give it a go. So
absolutely, I'll see what I can do. This should be fun. we're gonna roll into topic number 1. It's really the biggest thing going on right now. Kirk Cousins. I mean, he snapped his Achilles, which seems to be the going thing in the NFL right now. Just people snapping them left and right. But it might be a bit harsh for me to say this, but I don't really give a shit about Kirk Cousins. I'm really concerned about the weapons around Kirk Cousins. He had a bit of a time clock on him anyway. What do you think this does actually for Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, these guys? Because we kind of know what Kirk Cousins is at this stage. An Achilles injury doesn't really change it. But what about the other guys? What happens to them?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends who ends up winning that QB role, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it's Hall or if it's Dobbs. Like, Dobbs isn't going to play this week, they're saying. So you kind of discount him a little bit. But he looked fine when he was in Arizona. Like, making plays. The thing that I think will hurt them a little bit. I think the passing volume will actually go down a bit, regardless of who's the QB. Because let's be honest, Kirk Cousins, not the most dynamic QB you've ever seen. Likes that pocket. So I think we could see those passing opportunities go down. But we could then see field stretching, that kind of stuff. Like it's hard to say when it's such a big, devastating injury like that. It's difficult to really know what's going to happen, because this QB market as well it feels quite dry at the moment. I mean, outside of the draft, but then you've got teams that are tanking. I mean, if Justin Fields was maybe back, you could maybe see, but then into division, not really going to happen. Probably, it's rough. There's not a lot of guys out there who are really going to do a job. I mean, you could maybe waive like a late round pick and get a Jimmy G, which would be like a like for like, but that just doesn't fill me with like, I really want to watch them play. So, I don't know if I'm being honest. I think ultimately, you'll see a downtick for these guys for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Just as they get acquainted with a new QB who's going to have to learn a whole new playbook. So, yeah, it's the big question, right?
Yeah, it really there's not much else. It's obviously always stuff happening in Dynasty, but this is the one that really if I own Justin Jefferson right now, I'm obviously probably looking for like a championship push. I'm slightly worried about it. I spoke before on the Fantasy Wildcard Dynasty show with our good friend Kev, the Dynasty absolute the GOAT himself, and he's talking about like if you can get like an AJ Brown plus like a first for Justin Jefferson. And you're
I think you have to do that.
Yeah, right.
You have to do that 100%. Like,
I'm guessing you should sell Justin Jefferson, but I feel like we're there.
Yeah, I feel like you have to really do that. I mean, they're saying I was just checking. So they're saying Justin Jefferson can be back sooner rather than later.
Okay.
But I mean, this is the last week that he'll be forced to sit because he was on IR.
Yeah.
But I mean, hamstring injuries. They're just like they make me so nervous. As soon as it's a hamstring injury, I'm so nervous, especially with a player like Jefferson who likes to stretch the field, get downfield, right? Because talk about soccer like Michael Owen and Fernando Torres, both speed merchants. As soon as they did that first hamstring injury, downhill from there. So
yeah, and if you're someone like Kevin O'Connell, I think now has got a get out of jail free card. Like it doesn't really if they miss the playoffs, which they're probably going to, it doesn't really matter. So why are you risking this happening to Justin Jefferson? I wonder if that sooner rather than later thing might end up being a bit of a fake news kind of thing. I reckon he might still be a while yet before he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of that is just going to be talk, isn't it? Because they maybe want to move away the conversation from what's happening with Kirk. Right, because you know that's going to be the question. So if you can talk about Justin Jefferson for a little bit, then it's going to move the question on. Because really, what's going to happen to Kirk? They were talking already. Like, was he going to be on the roster next year?
Yeah,
this probably pushes the question forward. Like Achilles injuries, not really great to recover from. Older guy, not really a dynamic guy. I mean, lovely person. If you watch the quarterback,
great
my wife
guy,
loves him.
Yeah,
my wife loves him. But that doesn't matter when the coach is like, mate, I've got to win to keep my job. So
yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. I think that'll just it's so hard to tell. I think Josh Jobs is going to be the guy, right? I think he's played well enough that he might come in and be the guy for Minnesota. He played okay, obviously, over Arizona, but I'm not excited for Jordan Addison or Justin Jefferson. TJ Hawkinson, maybe he's a guy closer to the line of scrimmage. He might actually be a strange kind of winner in this, but I think ultimately everybody loses with Kirk going out, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for Cam Akers to just blow up now as a result. I just think that'd be such a lovely little thing to happen. Everyone's going, what's going to happen to pass catches? What's going to happen to pass catches? And then Cam Akers just comes out and just touches the ball maybe. That'd blow my mind.
Yeah.
Just gets a few touches at the backfield.
I'm still waiting for the Dwayne McBride breakout. I still believe he's one of my most owned players in Dynasty because I was like, he's got a chance here. He's like, Alexander Madison's rubbish. So I was like, they've drafted a running back in the late round. Let me just take Dwayne McBride in the fourth round at every draft I'm in. And they just haven't given that guy a chance.
I mean, I always used to wait for the Mike Boone breakout. Never happened. So
still time.
Still waiting. Still waiting.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows where he? I don't even know. Is Mike Boone at the Broncos still? Where the hell is he? Like, I have no idea.
I think he came out of the Broncos. Like, I don't even know where he is. Let's be honest, that breakout's not happening. The only break that could happen would be like a bone, I imagine.
Yeah,
that's the only break that will be coming his way. I
think you're spot on. Okay, so that kind of wraps up our first topic. The second topic I have for you, Rich, is this is around the time now. We're like halfway through, right? If not more. This is where teams are like, do I need to blow this team up? Like, do I need to actually completely start again? Am I just unlucky, or am I actually bad and my players are old and I'm a bit screwed? Do you have any kind of hard and fast rule about this, like when to blow a team up, or is it more of like you got to feel like in the moment kind of thing? Is it more of a fluid thing?
Yeah, like it's all about the feel, right? Like if you're losing weeks, then typically what I'd look at is like, am I scoring a lot of points? Like, am I just flat out coming against the guy who had, who had the blow up week this week, right? Am I going up against them? Like, I was in a super flex league where I was going up against Dak, and then the guy just went, I've got no QBs. I'm going to put Will Levis out, and he had CD Lamb as well. So it was like Prescott, Lamb, Levis. I was just like, I'm not even mad. Like, I had like Patrick Mahomes as well. So I was like, maybe a chance. And then I was like, nope, didn't happen. So like in that case, you chalk that up to bad luck. But if you're losing games consistently and you're not putting up a lot of points, that's when you've really got to be asking those questions. Unless you've got, last season I had one dynasty roster where I think we had 7 IR spots, and I was like, can we have some more, please? Because half my bench is IR as well. I'm just like feeling it. So like if you're just really, really unlucky, but there's not been like a lot of like those big headliner injuries.
I've got one team where I'm the defending champ, and we have 4 IR slots, and my IR currently is Justin Jefferson, J.K. Dobbins, Anthony Richardson, and Devin Achane, and I'm just crying.
I love the fact you've just kept J.K. Dobbins. Like, dude's going to be a free agent next year. Like, history of just like, I don't think he's ever completed a full season in the NFL, and you're just still like, nah, come on, let's keep it one time.
My most owned dynasty player. Thank you.
That says a lot. That says a lot about the future. So if you're Mags and you've got J.K. Dobbins as the linchpin of your running back of your backfields, time to blow it up. That's what I would say.
He has been the linchpin of my IR for a while. Like, that guy lives.
He's a mainstay. He's just there.
Yeah, he's consistent. Like, consistency is important, right? And he's been there. Yeah.
One thing I would say is when you are looking for your full rebuild, try and do it all at the same time. Try and move everybody all at once, because as soon as you start toppling those dominoes, then people go, this guy's on a full rebuild. They'll offer you less than market for your players, because they know, like, okay, the likes of like Hopkins or whatever, if they know that you're on a rebuild, they'll offer you less than market, because they know, like, okay, you don't really want him, you want to move on from him, so they'll offer you slightly less. So try and get all of your trade, and this is where it comes in handy, using like Sleeper's like chat function. Try and get all of your trades like ready, send. So they're all like, so everybody, when you get the notifications of this guy's on trade block, this guy's on trade block, this guy's on trade block. Try and do that, but for trades. So like trade. Send to the commish, put those through. And then before you know it, I mean, I was in one league with Jamie Byram. I don't know if you know him, but I was in one league with him where I think out of the first 2 rounds, he didn't have 4 picks. Like, that's how you blow up a roster. He was literally just, he pressed a nuclear button, and then he did exactly what I just said, which is get all your trades set up, ready to go, and then execute them all at the same time.
Nice. And just literally blow, like hit, like it's like a plunger, right?
I don't want to, speak to the brand, but it was an inferno what he did. He absolutely lit it up. He was just like, everyone's for sale, gone.
Yeah, right. And do you think even at that stage when you're really blowing it up, I'm quite willing to take like a slight pay cut on people as well. Like, if I want to blow it up, like, I'd rather take slightly under market value, if that's the best I can get, then keep this person.
And that's kind of what I'm saying as well with the executed trades, because if I know that you're blowing it up, I'm definitely going to offer you less than even I think you might be willing to accept. So let's imagine it's a player is worth just a flat first.
Yeah.
I might offer you like a second or like a second for next year or something.
Or like
I know
a first and like a pick coming back as well, right? Just like an
extra or something like that. Yeah, just because I'm just going to ask you, push the envelope.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, Rich, I've got an interesting thing we're going to look at now. I've got a team that is currently 4-4, right?
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure.
First of all, this is free fantasy advice. Trevor Lawrence, if he's on a bye week, he will get 0 points for you. So I'd move him out of the lineup.
Thank you. So that is great. Anyone listening, make sure you subscribe for the hot advice coming.
That's free
on this show. Yeah, that's
no worries.
Freebie,
yeah, that's
Patreon for the real shit, right? That's so
I love the 29% of people that are still starting him though. Like that's beauty.
Yeah, I think that what I really should check is after like Sunday who still started him as well. Like like what percentage of people don't give a fuck, like or aren't paying attention to fantasy at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's gonna be over 10 still, or I would say over 10%. But it's
definitely double digits.
Let's move on. This is a team, I'm thinking I might blow it up because it looks okay, but then the more you scroll down, the worse it kind of gets. So I've got Trevor Lawrence, who obviously I'm very, very happy with. I've got like Joe Mixon and Darrell Henderson. My wide receivers, I'm happy with. I've got Waddle and Pittman and Smith. Kyle Pitts obviously didn't work out. Tank Dell, Dalton Kincaid, and Tua. So I'm like, that's a decent team, right? I'm happy with that. But then the bench is not great. Mike Cunningham,
that's beautiful.
Russell Wilson, Jimmy G, Leonard Fournette, Kendrick Miller, Reynolds, Carter, Edwards-Helaire, Abdullah, Brown, Chenault. I mean, it doesn't get much better.
I mean, that's just so much depth that I'm looking at right there.
And the classic 1-2 punch. Justin Jefferson and J.K. Dobbins and IR. This one's right on the fence for me, Rich. What do you think I should do here?
This one's right on the cusp of it, I would say, because if you're looking at it, your RBs are weak. There's no going about that. Your wide receivers, like, you're pretty strong. Like, I think you're almost in that situation where you could punt a season. Yeah. So I'd maybe move on some pieces for picks that are, they're worth now, but they're not going to be worth in like a year or two. So like if you can find someone who's really RB needy, Henderson, like moving on him, could be good. I mean, I actually had a little giggle when we got to Dalton Kincaid, because I don't know if you remember this, but you said you were going to blow our Scott Fishbowl draft wide open.
Agreed.
And then you did the pick, and then I was like, it's still very firmly closed.
No, I think you'll find, Rich, that the last 2 weeks, and this is actually, you obviously are very aware the last 2 weeks you have scored the most points in our league in a row in the Scott Fishbowl.
I've come in. That's true.
I've been number 2 the last 2 weeks. Thanks in a big part to Mr. Dalton Kincaid. He's coming on.
Who came second to Usain Bolt in the 100-meter race?
Which one?
Any?
I don't know. That guy took a load of drugs, right?
There you go. Don't know his name though. Usain Bolt though.
Justin Gatlin. How about there you go. That's some 100-meter knowledge for you. So you're saying I'm Justin Gatlin. You're Usain Bolt. Maybe I'm the other guy, Asifa Powell, right? The guy that was like the other Jamaican guy. But yeah, Dalton Kincaid's coming on a bit. But yeah, this is a team I'm not sure what to do. Maybe not a full blow, but like a soft reset. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, like this feels to me like move on the pieces that are kind of a little bit old. Try and find someone who's right on that. Because you're right on that fence, but I'd say you're on the fence where you can still contend. Yeah. Try and find someone who's on the fence who's can still contend and maybe has this year as a shot. So somebody who would have like, I don't know if it exists in your league, but someone who has like Devontae Adams and Hopkins, right, as their wide receivers, where they're like elite, but they're going to be they're tailing off, right?
Yeah.
Try and find someone like that who's got RB need.
Yeah.
Move Henderson on for some picks. Try and get a little bit of draft capital for this upcoming draft, and then you can push for next year. Mixon, I feel like you have to keep him. because the only offers you're going to get are going to be lower than what I think you're happy to be accepting. Because let's be honest, the Bengals offense has struggled this season, and and Mixon is just not getting the points that you need. But I think let's be honest, you've got an offense with like Joe Burrow and Chase and Higgins coming. I think he's a free agent at the end of the season, but like
he is,
but there's pieces there that I think this offense will get better next year. And Mixon should get a bounce back. So I would say you need to keep him, but I would move on Henderson. I can't remember what other older guys you had further down the way.
Yeah, the main thing for me is like this is a pretty decent starting lineup. It's the
is this like tight end premium or something like that? Like, why are you starting 2 tight ends, or is that just like I couldn't remember? Is that just desperation because you're like I've got no one?
It was either start Kincaid in the flex spot or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. David is also a tight end anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I have got absolutely zero depth. This was an orphan team I took over like 2 years ago, so I'm doing okay.
You're
okay
doing
with it. Yeah.
That Leonard Fournette situation could like flip quite quick. If that flips, sell.
Absolutely, yeah.
But then everyone's gonna be looking to do that, right? So
I think so, yeah. But this is it's what I'm keeping my eye on. Certainly, like if Jefferson does come back, that changes it. J.K. Dobbins killed me in this as well. Like just been slightly unlucky, but that's what I thought would be interesting to chat about because it's like right on that cusp of
it's right on that cusp of understanding. Like to be honest. Don't be Jeff Fisher in this situation. Like, don't be like the Miami Dolphins were like years ago when they had Tannehill. Be rubbish and get great draft picks, or be great and pushing for the playoffs. Don't be 8-8, middle of the road, because you'll just be stuck there for years.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do, right, is have an opportunity of a lifetime, like have an Airbnb in London with a beautiful woman available.
I don't even know if she was beautiful, but just there.
And not going for it. Shout out that guy who didn't. I don't even know who he was. But yeah, shout out the guy that didn't pull the trigger.
You know
what you did. You know what you did. Yeah, or you know what you didn't do. Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't even try. Yeah.
So we're gonna move on swiftly, and we've got a couple of questions coming in from the audience. If you're listening right now over on Twitter, over on X, if you've asked a question, I can't see it. You have to go over to YouTube. You have to ask the question there. It'll come into the chat in here, and I'll be able to see it. So the hot question segment is coming up very, very soon. We will get right to it, but we're gonna just roll into a very simple segment. I'm not gonna spend too long on it. It's just, Rich, have you got any players in mind that are an absolute definite smash for starting or sitting this week?
Do you know, you've asked me too early, really, because I tend to do my my lineup. So at the moment, I'm working on a Showdown slate article for Tuesday Night Football, and after that, I tend to do my rankings for the upcoming week. But one of my writers did put a start sit together, so I'm just going to go in there and steal some. So Dak Prescott is one guy that I wrote up in my stacks article, actually. So like all the Cowboys last week, I recommended as a stack 3-piece was Prescott, Lamb, and Ferguson. I said go with them. This matchup is another great one against the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles you can't run on, but you can pass on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm willing to stay in that fire and be burned because it might happen. Jordan Love, I think this is like a make or break week for him against the Rams, right? Like he started out the season great, and I'll be honest with you, I was in some chats with some of my mates going like, it's just another one, just another Hall of Famer. Ready
Here we
to
go.
Yeah. Here we go again. We know the drill, boys. Brett Favre, onto Rodgers. Now we've got this kid who's looking hot and then didn't look hot. So this has got to be the week for him against the Rams. I mean, so it's a good matchup for him. So we'll see what he can do with that. Are you asking for like deep deep plays, or are we just looking like surface level guys?
Yeah, we could do what that guy was unwilling to do. We could go deep.
Let's go deep. Let's go deep, my friend. Let's go as deep as we can go. I feel like one of the Patriots receivers is going to pop against Washington, right?
Yeah,
this Washington secretary is not great. Mac Jones, equally not great. But if a defense is giving you something, Mac Jones has shown that if a defense gives him something, he can get it. And now Bill O'Brien is not in charge of trades. He is just mediocre. He is not awful.
Yeah.
So, we could see one of these guys pop off. So I'm going to be looking at not Juju Smith-Schuster because dude spent. He's like the cheap version. He's like the wish version of Michael Thomas at this point. Like Michael Thomas is Mr. Slants. And Juju Smith-Schuster is like the guy who wish deliver. You see the adverts on Wish where you're like what you think you ordered and then what actually arrives. Like you think you've ordered like a great slant route runner, and then Juju turns up and you go, "The hell's that?"
Yeah.
Okay, put him out there.
It's a cardboard cutout.
You're just like, what is this? What is this? Yeah. This is not what I ordered. So Demario Douglas.
Love that you said that. That was the name I was thinking of as well. Love that you said that.
That could be a nice little pop. I'm loving. I'm just waiting for the Drake London blow up game where he's gonna get 3 targets from Tyler Heineke, but they're all downfield. Like he doesn't.
Tyler Heineke is so much fun to watch.
Like I'll be honest, like he's the reincarnation of Phillip Rivers. Like he's just like, mate, I am just slinging it downfield. Someone's going to catch it. It could be my player. It could be a defensive back.
Don't care.
Bothered. Like, I've not drafted myself in fantasy, but I've drafted all of my receivers. So they are all just, getting the play call in from, in his ear. And he's just like, scrap that. Everyone, Hail Mary. That's what we're going for, son. Get downfield. Downfield.
It's like, Tyler, we're on the 30. Hail Mary. Let's chuck it.
Tyler, we're on our own goal line.
Say less. There. Yeah.
Say less. Get it up there.
You. Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's an interesting week. Like I think there's it's a bit of a turning point, isn't it, as well, with like, some of these QB moves and some of these coaching changes that have happened. Like there's a lot of moving parts there. Like, the Raiders deciding that Jimmy G is not the guy.
Yeah.
Big. Darren Waller's hamstring injury. All of a sudden, Daniel Bellinger is like, everyone's clambering for him.
They can't get them in any leagues I'm in. I've already got all the Daniel Bellinger.
That is incorrect. Because I am looking at our Scott Fishbowl league, where I think after the news, waivers cleared. I picked up Leonard Fournette, and then I just swung in, just off free agents, got O'Connell, Tune, and Bellinger. Now, what I will say is this is a tight end premium league and Superflex. So I just swooped in there and just went click, click, click. I was feeling good about it. So that is one league where I know you don't have Bellinger.
My roster was just too stacked to drop anyone. You see, that was the problem there, Rich.
See, I mean, I still had Kyle Trask. Because I think at the time, do you remember? I don't know if you remember, I drafted Baker Mayfield, and everybody laughed.
Good pick.
Everybody laughed at me at the time, and I was like, I don't know. And then because everyone laughed at me, they got in my head, and then I was like, I'm gonna handcuff this QB with Kyle Trask. Because that's the way I'm going.
That's the way you roll.
That's the way I roll. QB handcuff, baby. Shout out to my man, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Jack as well. What a guy, yeah. And lovely meeting him as well. So yeah, that's some great starts. But the one guy you didn't mention that I'm really liking what he's doing now, actually, in a situation that's maybe oddly better for him, but definitely worse for the team, I would say. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Michael Pittman Jr. right now. And he's going up against the Carolina Panthers this week. I think he's going to have a good week on his hands.
the thing that worries me about that is that the Panthers are just a team you can run on. So we could legitimately just see because Zach Moss is a guy that I drafted in a bunch of leagues with the Jonathan Taylor situation. Then Jonathan Taylor came back and I was like, oh, Zach Moss is going to be nothing. Yet he still seems to be something every week.
Yeah, he's been so good. Is he not running back 4 or something? He's ridiculous.
He's just still performing. So this could legitimately be a game where Gardner Minshew just does the the old Ryan Tannehill from a couple of last couple of seasons for the Titans. Just hand it to the boys in the backfield and just you've got a cheap seat to watch someone make a big play. That's the thing that worries me. I mean, Pittman, I've loved Pittman from the moment he was in the league. I was like, Rivers, he likes big target guys. I was in on him on Dynasty. I tried to quiet, when he went through that down period, I was buying him. I was like, the guy's talented. And I was like, Rivers is going to love him. Rivers didn't do well with him, or that well with him. And I was like, Carson Wentz. I was like, nah, this is it now. This is the second coming. This is going to be phenomenal. Didn't happen. Matt Ryan. I was like, Matt Ryan. Nah, he's the guy. Him and Jones, they were lovely. Pittman's going to be the same guy. We all know what happened there. Yeah. So I don't know. Pittman's a guy that I've loved. For me, it's just a matchup with the way the Panthers funnel. They'll just, I don't know.
Especially when you got JT and Moss as well, I suppose, right? Don't you? So that's
we could legitimately. If somebody told me that the box score, we had 9 pass attempts in this game, I would not be like, that seems out of the realm of possibility. Like we could literally see something comically low like that.
Yeah, but then Gardner Minshew, man, he's got athletic. He doesn't give a fuck. He's got audible run. No, not in my watch.
It's like, mate, I've just handed the ball off 4 times in a row. So no, I am sailing this downfield.
Yeah. Have you seen this mustache? I'll do what I want.
Are you going to drop me? No. So have you seen the QB market? Come on, mate.
Yeah.
Job
exactly.
is safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if I got one person, maybe not to sit, just to be cautious on this week, I think the Rams wide receivers this week, I'd be cautious with. Just with the weather, with the Stafford thumb injury.
Just pump the brakes. Just a little
bit. I'm not saying you should. There. Yeah, I'm not saying sit Cooper Kupp because that would be insane to say, but
when you're driving, you've not put the brake on, but you've taken your foot off the accelerator so that so it's naturally slowing a little bit.
Exactly. That would be my advice there. And that's the end of our start sit segment. We've got a couple of questions in from the listeners, which is great. If you're listening right now and you want a question, hey, it's easy. Just go on YouTube, type in a comment box, and that's it. We'll get to your question pretty easy. We're going to start off with a question from Bryce Ridley. Hey, Bryce. Thank you for your question. He says, hey, fellas. Hey. He's saying I assume Deontay Johnson, or Amari Cooper at the flex spot this week. It's a good question, right?
Right. First of all, let's just unpack this. First of all, at the flex spot, never start anyone who's playing on Thursday.
Yeah.
Fact. Your flex spot should always be, always, the last viable play you want to play, the latest game. That should always be your flex spot because you want the most flexibility that you can, because you don't want to be that guy who Monday Night Football is all of a sudden scrambling for the 4th string running back because there's been an injury or, that COVID year was an interesting time. That was an interesting time. But if we're just talking like flat, I would say if this is, are we assuming PPR, half PPR?
Most standard is PPR, right? Let's go PPR.
Yeah. Okay, let's go PPR. So Cleveland have Arizona, and I'm gonna go with Cooper.
Yeah.
Do you know? So I'm writing up, as I said to you, I'm writing up the showdown slate for the Steelers game. Do you know how many games Kenny Pickett has thrown for over 300 yards?
Over
300 yards
in his NFL career.
In his NFL career,
Yeah.
One time, week 5 last season. Do you know how many times he has thrown for multiple touchdowns?
Oh, like 5?
No
way.
Week 5, where he threw 2 against the Ravens. That is it.
That's bonkers.
So that ceiling is well and truly capped, my friend. So I will go with Amari Cooper, even though we're not. I think they say Watson's going to miss this week. Did I see?
It's a bit of a shambles, isn't it, with Deshaun Watson? Right. This is what happens when you pay a guy like that guaranteed money. All of a sudden, I'm not 100%. Like I'm not. Yeah, it's a real interesting.
This is a very interesting question. So Bryce, there's a lot of questions that I want to ask you back to get to the answer of this, because I want to know, who are you facing up against? Do you need the ceiling or the floor? Because that's a big question. I would say that if you want the absolute floor, then it's Deontay Johnson, because we're looking PPR, dump-offs, ugly. Like we're going to see some 8 reception for 40-yard game or something like that for him. Amari Cooper, ceiling. Now, I typically shoot for ceiling over the boring floor, but I mean, it really depends what you need, my friend. So I would lean Cooper, but I'll leave it to these guys. I mean, start sits always the questions I always get nervous about, right? Because I do a Sunday Discord drop in for Roto Baller, and you get these guys now asking all these questions, and then one guy reached out to me and said, "I only ask you guys so that if I lose, it's your fault." I was like, I respect the honesty. So being honest.
Yeah. How about you start one at receiver and one the flex? How about that, Bryce? So that's not any of our faults, right? start both or sit both. How about that? Yeah. So you can't blame us. Thank you for that question, though, Bryce. Bryce, if you're still listening, Bryce, please feel free to type any follow up on that. Hey, we got a question from the Dynasty GOAT himself. Kev White says, "Get rich to compare a player to an Italian food."
So this is
a previous conversation.
This is a heartback, because I've been on podcasts with Kev before, and what I do is I compare players to foods, right?
Okay.
So you get a safe QB like Kirk Cousins for fantasy.
Yes. Yeah.
Is long being what I would say is a tuna and cucumber sandwich, right? No one picks it. You don't go to the shop and go, "What do you say to somebody, what sandwich do you want from the shop?" And they go, "Tuna and cucumber." No one's ever said that. If it's on the shelf and you're hungry, you'll pick it up. Same things he's similar to a chicken tikka masala. Like you've gone to a new curry house, you're not quite sure, is it going to blow you out? Chicken tikka masala, safe kind of option.
Give me the Kirk Cousins, yeah.
Yeah. So who choose as an Italian food?
Tell you what we'll do is I'll go into Sleeper and I'll look at the players currently trending on Sleeper. Right?
Okay.
This is a hot topic. Ready? Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So I've got 5 for you. All right. So
okay.
Let's go. Number 1, we spoke about him earlier. Taylor Heineke.
He is and am I talking to Italian foods here?
I think we can broaden it.
We can open it. Okay. So Taylor Heineke, he's like a Vindaloo. Like that thing can burn you.
Yeah.
That thing can burn you. Equally, it can be very enjoyable. And you don't know what it's going to be until you start him. Very similar to Jameis Winston a few seasons ago, where I would start him and I would never look at the during the game score for him, because it would be like, if you imagine the graph, you've got time along here. It's 0 points and then 20 points. That's where he would ultimately end up. But the game
eventually
would be like this. And you're just like, my heart can't take it. He's on minus 10 points. He's thrown 4 interceptions. What's going on? And then at the end of the game, 20 points, no worries.
Yeah. He's almost also much like a Vindaloo. If you start Taylor Heineke, most people are going to be like, nice. I respect that.
Yeah, I respect that. Yeah. Like a little nod of appreciation.
Absolutely. I see what you're doing. Yeah, I love it. All right, next. Oh, we also spoke about this guy, Demario Douglas.
Okay, so Demario Douglas is kind of he's a bit spicy, but a little bit boring at the same time. I'm gonna say a Lambda Piazza. Yeah, it's a little bit of spice, can be a little bit interesting. But ultimately, you think you're going to be in that situation when you're going to look at somebody else's plate and go, "I should have got that instead." Like, you're going to look at your bench and you're going to go, oh, that was maybe a disappointment. I mean, it was relatively spicy to say that they're going to have a good game against Washington, but there we go.
I would almost describe it as like a dough piazza, but instead of with rice, like someone gives you spaghetti with it. You're like, what the fuck is that? What are these two things doing together?
A little bit left field, like someone from prawn crackers. There you go.
Yeah, it's like, that doesn't belong here. What's going on? Get him out of this team, onto like somewhere else, please. Like
the all-you-can-eat buffet, and you just just load this
just
up.
Grab whatever you can. Absolutely. Next up, this is an interesting one. Aidan O'Connell.
Aidan O'Connell. I literally just have like this guy's just. Do you know what he is? He's like, when you play. I think do Nando still do it when they do the wing roulette?
Yeah.
You have no idea what that's going to be. Like, literally none, because he's in a situation where he's not going to have awful play calling. He still has Devontae Adams and Myers, and he has Jacobs in the backfield. This could be something nice. It could be nice. It could also burn you. I had a question from somebody off the back of my Stacks article. And they said, I'm thinking about going O'Connell and Adams this week. And I was like, that's up to you. I mean, I wouldn't. But, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting O'Connell or the ball out, right? You're giving the ball to Alvin Kamara, surely. I'm just letting him roll with it to start with, at least, anyway. We got one more. I'll let you choose between here, because one of them is Will Levis, but that's obviously just coffee with mayo in it, right? That's easy. You got a choice between Trey McBride or Derek Carr.
Do you know what Derek Carr's like a spaghetti bolognese? And I'm going to bring it back to an Italian food, because sometimes you can go with the same recipe, same thing. Sometimes you just get it slightly off.
Yeah.
And you get like the 14-point game for him. Sometimes you're like, this is the best bolognese I've had in my lifetime, and you get the 26-point game. They've got a good matchup this week, so I think Derek Carr's a guy that I like this week for DFS against Chicago. I think I could be looking at a good spaghetti bolognese with that one.
Yeah, like one of the proper one, like you get like the nice little bit on top as well, like everything just hits
when you've I mean, let's talk some food quick. When you get the beef ribs and you slow cook them, but you don't. But then you take it off, so you leave all of like the meat juice in there, and that's what you cook in. You like, oh mate, that's the way forward.
No, we're talking. Yeah, that's the Derek Carr we want, not the.
That's the Derek Carr we want, not the one where you've gone. I've got some frozen corn. And it's not actually spaghetti, it's the pasta shells that everybody has in the back of their cupboard. And I don't have carrots or bacon, but I've got peas. And I've got tomato ketchup. That'll do.
And I've got an old jar Dolmio, and I'll hope for the best. Like, that's that guy could turn up.
Let's pray together.
Pray to the food gods, that Derek Carr.
Exactly.
Next up, we got. Hey, it's X Heat Lifer X. All right, look at this guy. He's got his own little avatar as well. Absolutely love it. Love it. He's saying, what's up, guys? He's saying, thoughts on starting Jalen Warren or KJ Osborne at the flex spot. Says he's got some people on bye and some people out. Yeah. The waiver wire is pretty dried up. 12-team full PPR. Where are you leaning between Jalen Warren and Osborne? Yeah,
Osborne. The thing with the Steelers is that backfield is such like an even split. Like I literally wrote that sentence just before we start recording. It's such a like even split between Harris and Warren, and with the lack of scoring, I don't want either of them. Like they're hurting each other's value so much. They don't really want either of them. And the Titans as well. They're a tough run defense as well. They'll give you it through the air, but they will not give it to you on the ground.
If they can do anything, it's stop the run. That's maybe the only thing they can do at the minute.
That is the only thing they can do, but they are good at doing that. So I'd go for Osborne. I know it's a risk because new QB, but Osborne's getting targets in the offense, and as you say, you got people on bye, and you got some guys that are out injured. Full PPR. Let's be honest, you only need him to really catch like a couple of balls, and one of those balls can easily be, a 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
That's what Osborne used to be, right? So
yeah,
you can see that happen here.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you. I'd start Osborne fairly easily over Warren there. And if you still have some more questions, please continue to ask them in the chat. We'll try and get to them later. But I'm going to get to my question for Rich. And Rich, this one has been on my mind, right? It is something that the world needs to know. Okay, I've got an answer, but do you think you can tell me if dogs wore trousers, how would they wear them, Rich? Would it be like the first part where it's like on the lower part like this, or would it be like the second part where it's just the hind legs?
It would be the second part, 100%. That's the only correct. But it's the only correct answer, because if you were to think about it, how dogs walk, right?
Yeah.
The first way is not going to work. Is the trousers are going to be too tight, particularly with how they've been drawn. Like, these are jeans, right?
Yes. True.
Right? They're going to be too tight. They're not going to be able to walk it if it's the picture on the left. It has to be the picture on the right, 100%. It's not even close. If you're saying the one on the left, you're wrong.
Yeah, I am in full agreement. I mean, there's some people out there that it surprisingly splits the internet. Like, people saying, "Oh, but these are their legs, and you should cover your legs." But it's like, you do know that it's not like a real, like, they don't wear trousers anyway. So it's just like, if they were to wear trousers, like, what should it be? I think it's the one on the right.
Also, the other argument you can do for it is, when you see them wearing the coats, right?
Yes.
They're not wearing them over their back legs as well, are they? Always over the front, because that's what they wear with the coat, like similar to you.
Yeah.
See? Simple.
I think it's dead set.
Be consistent, people,
That's all we're asking for in the dog clothing world, really.
Yeah, just be consistent.
That is all that we've been wanting for. So thank you for clearing that. That was pretty cut and dry, actually. That's good to see us both on the same page here. And that brings us into my favorite part of the show. It is time for what the people really want. It's my sizzle reel from the week, and we've got a good viewing for you this week, Rich. Starting with, have you seen the best Halloween costume of the year? This kid with a costume where it looks like an alien is kidnapping him.
I mean, that is a phenomenal costume, for one.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think what's going on there, because that kid's really playing his part.
He's nailing it.
He's nailing it. Like, he sells that costume 100%. It's one of these costumes where you have to go all in, because if you go halfway, nothing happens, right?
Yes.
I admire the hustle, and I like his friend that's playing along, right?
Yes.
Because again, you got to sell it. You got to sell the video. It looks great. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely nailed it. And speaking of people absolutely nailed it, Will Levis, you can't do much better than what he did, right? In his debut, 4 touchdown passes. 3 of those 4, I think, are in the top 5 for like distance for touchdown passes in the NFL this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Will Levis having, obviously there was a lot of talk of, are the Colts going to go for Richardson, or are they going to go for Levis? And then obviously they went for Richardson, and then Levis had to sit there awkwardly all night and then break up with his girlfriend after, which is always going to happen. But I wonder if he's kind of happy that he's still in the division so that he can play them twice a year. I mean, yes, people say small sample size. Yes, I'm fully aware that it is one game against the Falcons, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and he looks comfortable. Like, that doesn't look like a hard pass for him, right?
No.
He seems happy. He seems happy. Yeah. Like, he drops back, kind of deals with the pressure, and then just whoomph downfield.
The only pause I have is, what the hell took them so long to put him in? Like, why is it only now we're seeing him?
Because when you got like Mike Vrabel's so like. Did you ever watch the Texans All or Nothing? Not All or Nothing. What was Hard Knocks?
No, I didn't see that. No.
He was such like a big man. He was trying to make it like, I'm such a big man. So, but he's the guy's so risk adverse. Like, you look at how he runs his offense. It's just like, there's a massively stacked box. What are we going to do? Run it.
Yeah.
Just run it.
Try and run through it. Yeah.
We're just going to run it. Like, it's literally a brick wall in front of you. We're going to do run it.
So he's
I think that's it. I think he was just like nervous about putting him in. So, but I mean, injuries forced him to do it. Yeah, injuries forced him to do it. So, I know. I think it's good. I think this matchup against the Steelers as well, especially without Minkah Fitzpatrick, is a perfect opportunity for him to put together back to back games.
You ever tried mayonnaise in your coffee?
Mayonnaise in my coffee. Well, this is the thing. I don't drink tea or coffee, so I'm a bit of a freak to start with. But mayonnaise and coffee, like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to judge because, you know, I've tried some weird things in my time, and to be honest, if I said to you, put some coffee beans in water and then milk in water, that's unacceptable, isn't it? But somehow it's fine when there's a coffee bean or a tea bag involved.
That's true. Yeah, maybe
does it give it a velvety texture? That's what I'm thinking.
I doubt it. I'm not willing to try. Maybe next year at the UK FFC we can have some kind of punishment, right? The loser has
I'll tell you what, if you're willing to take a sip, I'll take a sip. I've not had coffee. I don't really like it. It's too bitter. Yeah. But if you'll do it, I'll do it.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we can set something up. That might be quite good. You must have seen this, right? From the Bengals game.
I love you know, like big men reels. You know, and you see like one of the big men do something, you're like, you know, I'm off for an adventure. Like it's beautiful when you see like somebody who's everything tells you that he should not be making an interception like this. Yeah. But somehow there he is with his big old hand. I was just disappointed that, you know, just after this clip finishes, he just stepped out of bounds. And I really think like if he hadn't done that, I was like, this guy's going all the way. He's going all the way. Which would have been a beautiful moment.
You're right with me. I absolutely love whenever nothing will ever beat Dontari Poe lining up like he's going to charge through and score a touchdown and then hitting them with the jump pass. That's the best big man highlight of all time. I absolutely love that.
That or the I think it was the Patriots offensive lineman from
the kick,
he and he like jukes through. He just kind of like jukes, and you see him. He's almost like, "Oh my god, I'm going to score!" No, that's not
unbelievable.
Spoiler alert! In case anyone sees it.
Hey, Jackson Smith and Jigba alert. This guy,
JSN's doing bits now, isn't he? Like you know, we had the injury to Metcalf, which by the way was the first game that Metcalf had ever missed in his career.
Wow. That's
for
incredible.
Injury. And I don't know, like this Seahawks offense feels like it's been a little bit underwhelming this season. Yeah. But, you know, there's been some highlights. And I think JSN is one. He's got to be the long-term replacement for Tyler Lockett because I don't think he's not a similar type of player to Metcalf. Like Metcalf's kind of one. But I mean, let's be honest as well. Like you're looking at JSN here, but look at Metcalf's block.
The block,
on the end, like that's what really makes it. Like, look, he sees it's not to him, bang, block, and then as he's blocking, he disengages and blocks the guy who's you know having to deal with JSN. Like that's beauty.
That's what you want. Yeah, the team.
You don't get assists in the NFL, but I feel like if you did, that would be
that would be 100% correct. Trey McBride, we kind of briefly mentioned earlier. I mean, he's come in. This is one of the craziest touchdowns. I thought that was maybe going to be blown dead once or twice here, but they got him over the line.
So, with all the talk about the Eagles and their, you know, brotherly shove or whatever, the hell's this? This is right out of rugby field. Like genuinely, having played rugby, this is right out of rugby field. This is a maul, and then the big lads have just gone, just get him over. I personally don't think this was a touchdown because it looks to me like he kind of stopped
right here. Right? Yeah.
Here it seems like he stopped, but they gave it. I was really happy because I had Trey McBride in some DFS lineups because he was like really, really cheap. So after having not done anything and playing in a blow-up game, I was really happy when he just dinked over the line. So I was happy with that.
Playing well, Trent McBride, actually, coming on quite a bit, actually. I like him. He's pretty cheap in DFS this week as well, actually. So I think I've got him in a few lineups. Jahmyr Gibbs, finally. I mean, I feel like this is sort of bittersweet because we all know what's going to happen with Dan Campbell here. He's going to fall in love with David Montgomery again. This is going to be the last highlight of Jahmyr Gibbs we see all season, right?
David Montgomery is like Frank Gore of old. Like, he just like 4 yards. He's just like 4 yards. No worries.
Yeah.
4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards. Jameer Gibbs. Do you know what? If we were going to go back to the food analogy, David Montgomery is he is that, chicken korma, tikka masala. Like, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
4 yards. Like, it's just going to fill a hole.
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs, he's like a chicken madras, like a bit spicy. Like he can do bits. He's looking good looking good on the ground and through the air. Especially playing at home, by the way. I don't know if you've seen him, but the home splits for Jared Goff when he's on the road and when he's at home are mad.
Yeah.
Like Ben Roethlisberger kind of levels.
Yeah.
So, I feel bad because, as you say, as soon as Montgomery comes back, you're just like, he's just going to go back to just sitting on the bench. But I mean,
maybe some wishful thinking. Like, great 2 weeks. Maybe he'll get a better split. Who knows? But Dan Campbell doesn't. I don't know why they were so excited to draft this guy if they're just going to continue to use him like they did DeAndre Swift. So
it does seem a bit. It does seem a bit mad to do that, but
yeah. Hey, this is Aidan O'Connell who we talked about. I may look like Favre, but I play like Favre. What a t-shirt!
I mean, I love personalities in sports at all levels.
Yeah.
Right. Too many times we find these players being like sterile. I love social media and what it's enabled these players to do.
Yeah.
I kind of like this guy looks like a meme. Do you know what I mean? Like this is somebody who I could fully imagine. They change. This could be a meme, and they just change like the writing on the t-shirt.
Agreed.
Right? Like he just looks like that bloke that you meet at the kebab shop after a night out, who just tells you everything that's right or wrong with the world, or how Spurs were denied their opportunity to win the league because of an appalling refereeing decision or something. Do you know what I mean? Like he just looks like that, like just everyday bloke. Like I genuinely reckon, they say like some players dress up in disguise so they're not recognized.
Yeah.
No need. Walk out on the street, my friend. You're good.
Yeah. You're all good. Yeah.
He looks like a regen from like FIFA.
With a bad tash.
Just looks like a regen.
Also has the name of a regen, by the way.
Yeah.
Like Aidan O'Connell. Like it's not like not a real guy at all, but up to all kinds of shenanigans there. Good old Favre, absolutely. Did you see some of the awesome Halloween costumes?
I did see some of them. Now the thing with this is, I'm in two minds about it because after the fact, it could be great. But the thing is, for me, when you're when you're going into the place like this, you're like, you better perform, because if you do not, this is going to make you look mighty stupid. Particularly if you're like somebody who's like dressed up as like a serial killer, or you're giving it like this kind of big vibes.
My favorite thing would be is if some of these guys like forgot to change the clothes, so like lost but had to go home. Dressed as an alien, like dressed as like this killer, right?
Like the sad guy that you see on the back of the bus, and he's just like he doesn't know where he is.
He's like drunk. Cameron Thomas here, having to walk home as Mr. Incredible.
just order. He's in Subway trying to get a foot-long meatball marinara at the end of the.
At least Preston Smith has a mask. He can hide with that. He'll get away with it, right?
Yeah.
But so good. My favorite one was Myles Garrett. He had like the names of all the quarterbacks, right? Like, and he crossed all the quarterbacks he had sacked this year. He had them all like crossed off on the back of his jacket. I thought that was pretty cool.
See, this outfit is similar to the first picture that you showed me, but that was disappointing. Yeah. Like, it wasn't playing.
Nah.
This one's just like you just bought motorbike mask. Like, just don't even bother. Just walk in.
Yeah, that's a lazy one. This one, I mean, Shark
similar.
Shark Boy. That's 20 quid on Amazon, right? You're a millionaire.
That feels to me like somebody's gone. Oh, it's Halloween game tomorrow. Like, you should dress up, and they've gone, fuck, what's on Amazon or what's in the costume shop, and they've gone, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, there's an ill-fitting Spider-Man outfit. You want that? I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll take it.
It's like, okay, what have I got left from the stag do from Prague? Right, let's find this. I mean,
Miles brought up, by the way, that doesn't count.
I mean, really? Like, that just looks like he's just. That ultimately looks like, when you've forgotten your homework and you're just like, no, I've done it. It's here. No.
And Njoku's handing in homework from 2 weeks ago. He's won that mask already.
I like this unidentified player. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Who do you think that is, if you had to guess?
I mean, I would have guessed Cam Newton, but I know he's not in the league. So
Could have been Cam. You never know.
Could have been Cam.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings. I mean, the worst shield you've ever seen in your life. Like, I mean, come on, mate.
That's also the most screen time that he's had this season. That's pretty.
I was about to say he's got nothing else to do. You think he could have got a better costume, right? He's not busy.
Ray McLeod, he's just like just kicking, just catching kicks at this point, right? Like,
I mean, the most surprising thing about this video was that Ray McLeod is still on a team and allowed in a stadium somewhere like that. That's the shocking thing about this video.
You're half expecting the security guy to go, mate, who are you?
Yeah. So we talked about Leonard Fournette earlier. Did not skip leg day. I mean, this guy he's not, what did he weigh in, like 240 or something the last time he went into the camp? This guy's looking in shape, ready to go, right?
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest, quads don't mean a thing. Tell AJ Dillon that. Like, Quadzilla. Like,
he's dressed up as AJ Dillon for Halloween.
Dude isn't doing anything. And the thing is that with the Bills is, if Fournette goes, then I hate the backfield because, Josh Allen's still there and he just still reaches over with the ball. And he's like, wait, is there a 1-yard touchdown score that we could have? Got it.
I'll take it. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Allen, like, second all time in rushing touchdowns now, right? Josh Allen, absolutely unbelievable. I find a new dance for us to practice, right? We could maybe show this next year in London. Look at this. How is this guy doing this?
Well, I think he's about to tell us.
Yeah, I've watched this about 100 times. I cannot figure it out. He's just saying, oh, you just do this and then you fly.
Mate, I tell you what, this feels very similar to the way that somebody told me how to floss. They were like, it's easy, you just do this. And then I still look like I was trying to masturbate a blue whale.
Yeah, you still look like you're going to end up on a register somewhere. Yeah, let's
definitely look like they were like, check the hard drive, son.
Speaking of Halloween, there's a couple of Halloween themes. This guy, I mean, this is fantastic, right?
That is incredible.
How cool is that?
That should be applauded.
I think he's got mirrors underneath. Some wheels.
But he's even got a registration plate on the back. Like, can you imagine that? Like he's gone to the dealership or wherever, and he's gone. Boys, I need a registration plate for what? For this, my speeder.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You think the best thing about this would be if it wasn't Halloween and this is just this guy's daily commute, right?
This is just Tuesday. He's off to Tesco.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I love it when people go all out, full commitment. Like these guys here, right? Just guys being guys dressed up as Alex Alzoni, like, gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean, this feels a little bit like pop rock, like, that kind of. But I love when players when people pay homage to a particular player. Like, it's nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
He's had a good season also as well. He's playing very well. Devontae Adams, not happy.
I mean, wouldn't you be like
furious?
This guy left Aaron Rodgers and then thought he had. Then he thought he had Derek Carr, who he always wanted to play with, and then the Raiders went, no.
Yeah, and now he's got Favre from Super Troopers, right? He's playing with that kind of like, I feel bad for him. What's his contract situation like over there? Is he tied to them long term?
I don't really know, but I mean, like, contracts. Tell the Saints that contracts mean anything. Like, every year they're like, start off the season minus 90 million in the cap, and then it's like, wait. And then now,
like the 49ers were on that street as well, right? They're just like, we don't care about the cap. We're just going to sign Chase Young. We don't care. Like, I don't know how they're going to make it work. But yeah, Adams not a happy guy. Also, amazing Halloween outfit. Does he do the sprint? Yes. Some of the people out there. Brilliant, right? I think that might be my favorite one. I'm not sure. It's between that and the other kid.
I like that one. I like that one.
Again, commitment to the cause as well. Going all in with the sprint. Yeah, love it. We've got hey, look, which Chiefs wide receiver is this? And is it all of them?
Could literally be any of them. Like who's even like I don't even know. That was Smith-Schuster last year.
I would trust this guy to catch passes ahead of Mecole Hardman. Just saying. Like Mecole Hardman is the devil. Like he's awful.
Mecole Hardman's hilarious, right? Like the Chiefs let him go. He goes to the Jets, and then they're like, no. We need that mediocre back. Mediocre back. And then you see how many like kicks he fumbled.
Awful. I
messaged if it wasn't for the fact they just traded him, I think he'd get cut.
I would still cut. Like I am a Chiefs fan. I was actually like visibly sad when the Chiefs re-signed him. I was happy to see the back of him, and now he's back, and it's like, oh god, this is terrible. I found a nice replacement for him though. I would start this guy ahead of Mecole Hardman.
The thing is, with these types of videos, is you know where they're going to end up, but yet you still watch.
Yeah, this is
definitely in America as well, right? Like,
every video like this is in America, right?
Yeah.
This is News Chief starting wide receiver catching punts. this guy. Hey, I've got an idea for next night out in London.
Oh, mate, I've seen this where so on a stag do, one of my mates.
Love he sticks with it as well.
One of my mates had his eyebrows burnt out. Yeah, that was pretty awkward because he. So on that stag do, he had a family event the next week for like a christening or something like that. So he turns up. He has no eyebrows. And he had like thick eyebrows before, so like it just looks like so odd. I mean, it was great. I enjoyed it.
It's like one of the highlights of my year.
I enjoyed it. I was like 10 out of 10, 5 stars.
What would this be your reaction if someone tries to prank you in public?
I mean, I respect it, but equally, like, I don't know if this is staged or what, but like, I massively love when you see these pranks to people, become unstuck. Like, it's so funny. Like, I
absolutely love it.
Genuinely love it.
They have what's coming to them. Like this guy, if this wasn't staged, this guy had it coming.
Yeah, like. You know, was it Jack Jones used to do them like years ago? You know, and you see like somebody and then eventually like get in his face. Like I love that.
Yeah. This is the video of old Kirk. I mean, you could see it. You could actually like I'd seen people online be like, "That's an Achilles." Like before it was announced, like you could just see the snap on it. Like
the dude. Well, everyone's an Achilles expert now, right? After I mean, did you see the video? I had a video sent around of like Aaron Rodgers highlights where it basically shows him running out with the American flag and then end of video.
That was on the very first ever sizzle reel.
Yeah. Like everyone's now an Achilles expert, right? So as a result of that, like it feels rough.
I mean, how Kirk Cousins is obviously boring already. How boring is he going to be when he's bedridden? Jesus, like this guy's going to.
Kirk Cousins is going to end up being an OC somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can see it, right?
Yeah.
He could do it right now, probably as well. College football highlights. Shiloh Sanders was ejected out of the game for this hit. I think that's a bit harsh.
It does feel a bit harsh. Like. It doesn't feel like it's head on head.
No.
You know, I don't want to be like result of the play, but the other guy gets up.
Yeah.
Right? It just feels, for me, it's like, decide what you want football to be. Do you want it to be a contact sport or not? If you don't want it to be a contact sport, then fine. But if you want to be a contact sport and you want to be showing these like hard hits and all of that kind of stuff, then this is what it's going to be, and that's not an ejection for me.
No, nothing. I think that's a perfectly legitimate hit. Nothing wrong. The last thing we want is, I mean, obviously you're a big rugby guy like me as well. The last thing we want is what's going on in rugby right now, right? Where it's this weird veiled line, people getting sent off left and right. That's not what we want, right?
No, exactly. Just be upfront and be consistent. That's not an ejection.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Have a look at this security guard. That might have been an ejection.
I love the kid who's like then stood over him like, yeah, that's what's up. You know? Like,
yeah. It's like, yeah, I was about to do that to you. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like listen, I love this is like you could fully imagine this, like as it's gonna happen again. Yeah, from like WWE days. Oh my God, it's Edge! It's Edge! He's coming back! He's coming! What a spear! Spear! You know, that's the vibe it's given, right? Like some pure WWE vibes.
The best thing about this is this dweeb is obviously live streaming it. If you look carefully, you can see his phone flying through the air. Look there.
what I love is the fact that, and what I kind of judge a little bit is the guy in yellow hasn't even taken a selfie with the guy. Like, if that's me, I've just ended this guy's life, right? I'd 100% lie down on the floor. But, like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that guy. He walks up like that's the coolest that guy's ever going to be as well. By the way, of that hit, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely love it. Let's have a look at this. You ever wonder what happens if you don't step off the elevator? Look at it, or the escalator.
Oh, dude, this is like my kid is terrified of escalators, right?
This is why.
But he does this thing as well where he goes like, "No, you go first," and then he'll go, "Oh no, I'm scared," and then you're like, "Oh, now I have to come and get you," but I'm like, you know, kind of up. And what I will tell you is, and I don't know if you know this, but it is much easier to run up the down than it is to go down the up.
Run up. Yeah, I could imagine that.
It is infinitely more difficult to go down the up, to the point where in some shops I will literally just say, okay, stay there, go up. I walk up the escalator and then back down, because that is quicker than trying to go down.
Wow. Yeah. So don't show your kid this video.
Bit of life advice for anybody who's listening and wondered if that's the case.
Yeah, exactly, and make sure you lift your feet off as well. Is that guy only wearing?
I love how he's done it, because he's lifted the fronts, like, look how much of a big shot I am, and then it's gone badly, and then he's like, like, is he with one of these girls? Because it feels to me like he's tried to impress her. Like, look how smart I am. Like, look, he's like, there we go, and then she's gone. Not for me. You are getting.
Is he also? Iggy's also only wearing one sock, or does that come off as well? Hopefully, he was only wearing one sock. That would be ideal. Like,
I think he's wearing odd socks.
Yeah, you seen this guy trying to pull a bit of a prank? I'll turn the sign around. This will be funny, right?
You could see it. It's low. You could see it loading up, right?
Yeah,
you could see it spinning and loading. Like,
this looks like it's on like some kind of army barracks as well. Like, this is the guys defending everyone's freedom, right?
Like, I massively admire the person who just like has gone, like, as his mate's gone, I'm gonna do this. He's gone, wait, this is gonna be hilarious. It's not gonna work.
Let me get my phone out. Yeah,
let me get my phone out, because I'm telling you now, it's not gonna work. So
yeah, and that's that guy got what he deserved, right? Have a look at this. You ever think about going mountain biking? This goes wrong on so many levels. This is
it's the second bit, like, you know, he gets the old dude, and the old dude, like, there's a split second where he turns his ankle and he thinks, I might be all right here, and then he goes, oh no, it's got infinitely worse.
Yeah, this is my season. J.K. Dobbins going down, and then Justin Jefferson right after, right? You just think it's as bad as it could get, and then and then you just get run over again, like, just Yeah, there goes Dobbins, and there goes Jefferson. Absolutely terrible, right? Sure, this is the first one from last week. Would you wear this to a sports game?
I think that's fine, right? Like,
yeah, I think so. Paul Pickett disagreed, but what does he know?
He's clearly dressed as a worm.
That's what I told him as well. Yeah, but
I mean, mine's very similar, but not made of plastic. It's a lot smaller, and more in line with the two lumps at the bottom. But
don't have feet sticking out the bottom.
Pretty much the same. I love he's gone for pink Crocs because he's like, I don't want to look like an idiot.
Exactly. Yeah, I need to blend.
I don't want to wear black shoes with my fleshy coloured costume. I wear pink Crocs. Idiot.
That's a man who's dedicated. And speaking of dedicated, Rich, thank you so much once again for coming on and such short notice as well onto that. So you've had a good time.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Hang out, chat some fantasy, mainly just chat some crap. Yeah, it's good. It's nice.
That's my favorite thing to do. Just come on, chat some crap. Do you remind people if they're watching the show, where can they find you online, Mitch? If they don't know you, what are you up to?
So you can find all my stuff on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at kfantasy_sports. I run a website, kingfantasysports.com, and that's where you can see all my stuff. I do a Discord drop-in on Rotoballer. I think the server's free to join. So if you're interested, there's a lot of great guys that work over there that have great content as well. So if you can't find it, if you need a link, I'm not sure if I should, but I can just give you the link to it. So just send me the DM. I'll get you in it. No worries.
Yeah, absolutely. A hot seat exclusive link, right?
I mean, I'll just spam it out to anyone. So whatever.
Brilliant. Well, mate, thank you so much once again. Thank you to everyone for watching and asking some questions and all of that good stuff as well. Hopefully, everyone's week 9 goes smoothly, and we'll see you in week 10. And don't forget, for anything Dynasty you want to know, keep it locked on the Certified Inferno. We'll see you next time. Bye.